Hello, Watem here, welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. Last time I mentioned that I would have another audio track for like full English dubbing over the voice lines. Yeah, so if you want to actually keep that going moving forward, so you can go react in the comments. Otherwise, I think I'll just keep things as is, because I realized after the fact, while I was editing, yeah, in order to actually put the my voice lines in, I have to dub over, but while my voice and the audio output are in separate audio tracks, the voice lines are in the same audio tracks as the sounds and sound effects. So yeah, I had to just lower the volume on those so I could speak over the top of them. And quite frankly, not all that happy with that solution. So I don't think I'll keep doing that moving forwards. In any case, let's continue.
Oh.
Who is this? Ah. Is this back to, we're getting some more, what's her name? Little sister? Maybe? Amakusa ran his finger down my cheek. In an instant, I awoke from the doze I'd just been in. I glared at Amakusa for waking me up in such a creepy way, but he just pretended not to notice. Where is this? It was like a parlour in some dignified person's house. But I have no memory of this place at all.
Oh.
Angie, that's it. Where is this? And why am I...
お嬢、寝ぼけてるんですかい？
ええ、ごめん。ここ、どこ？
は？
Apparently he hadn't expected me to forget something like that just because I wasn't fully awake yet. For once, I agreed with him. Why am I in some parlour that I don't recognise? Sound of the footsteps from the they Amakusa had mentioned had come right up to the opposite side of the door. I could hear conversing voices. Is that a woman? Judging by the coffee and the snacks laid in front of me, I was a guest here. In that case, I'd better remember why I came here. Or at least who it was I came to visit. Who am I? Yushimiya Anji? Who's the man standing in front of me? Amakusa Juso? Man who used to be my guard long ago? He's now the bodyguard Okunogi assigned to me? In that case, is this after Aunt Eva's death? When I've thrown off my pursuers? On that journey to find out what happened 12 years ago? Is that how it went? Do I really have a memory like this? Ooh. Now, isn't that ominous? After a knock, the door opened. The person I must have come here to meet entered along with an assistant. Oh, wonderful. Even after seeing her face, I can't remember who she is.
お待たせいたしました。八条東也先生でございます。
That's a relief. The assistant introduced her to me first. And I finally remembered who she was. Hmm? She? I thought it was a he.
失礼ながら、先生で？
ええ。私が八条東也です。
Okay, who is that? I skipped the Amakusa one earlier. On regard of others, an extremely thrill seeker who accepts dangerous jobs for little pay. He had served as Anji's bodyguard before, but after he broke over strict orders not to talk to Anji countless times, Ever ultimately took a dislike to him and let him go. Anji herself didn't find him all that bad, because he was someone she could talk to. ASAF, Foreign Legion, private military companies. This man has travelled them all and has a skill in counter-sniping and escorting VIPs. Anji. The final descendant of the Yoshimiya family 12 years in the future. In the middle of her journey to reach Rokkenjima while evading pursuers from the Sumidera family, she is sucked into the world of an impossible memory. She reached several truths from the past games and possesses enough power to represent observers. Okay. It is said that many witches are fond of her bad attitude, and many of them even have an eye on becoming her master. And Hasho Toya. A message bottle forger. Interesting. She is a mysterious novelist, and the mysteries surrounding her outnumber even those found in her novels. Claiming to have found the truth of Rokkenjima, she writes new tales and publishes them on the web, so giving out extra hints. However, I have no memory of meeting her before my trip to Nijima.
週刊誌に先生のサイン会の件が載ってましたぜ。サングラスにマスクでがっちりガードした謎の男性作家って触れ込みだったはず。まさか女の先生だったとは。こりゃどういうわけで？
あれは編集部の方に手配していただいた身代わりです。あのサイン会の時、後ろに待機していた海添が私でした。
こりゃ驚いた。先生の作品は読んだことないが、多分あんた本人の方がよっぽどミステリーですぜ。
読者など本を読んでいるふりをしているだけ。
Okay, I guess I'm pretending to read then.
作者名とブランドだけで本を読み、読んだつもりでいる。
Like this music.
彼らには私の本に何が書いてあっても何も読んでなんかいない。
Okay, I guess that means I could just close the game because I've already read this, right? Yeah.
ただ今、流行りの作品は欠かさず読んでいるとインテリブるために読んだふりをしているだけ。
Right, I'm keeping up with a very current fad of Umineko, which released in... That's actually kind of a good question. When does this episode get released? 2009? So yes, definitely keeping up with the current fads here.
その程度の者どもにどうして我が身をさらせようか。はあ、汚らわしきかな、汚らわしきかな。なるほど。
Yeah, the fact that they're bringing up this message bottle forger, when some of the hints earlier are because of message bottles.
確かに、あなたが八条先生のようですね。
This person really is eccentric. There's no doubt about it. This is Hashijo Toya herself. Hashijo Toya is a mystery novelist who's become the center of discussion lately. It seems her books themselves have been highly praised, but it's her mysterious debut that's attracted so much attention towards her lately. Last year she managed to win several different awards for exceptional mystery novels offered by multiple large publishing companies, submitting each of her works under a different pen name. And after that, several highly regarded anonymous works were discovered, one after another, to have been stories she had written in the past under false names. And her popularity soared as she herself became more mysterious in her books. Despite all this, the author herself never appeared in public, and everything about her was wrapped in a veil of secrecy. However, just a few days ago, this author finally made a public appearance for a book signing. showing up with a mask that covered, quote, his face and drawing even more public attention. And yet, apparently even that had been a fake. Given this person's radically unconventional track record, it was hardly a surprise to hear her casually insult her fans like this.
後宮英二さんのこともワイドショーでもずいぶんいろいろやってましたから私もよく知っていますよ。
どうせろくな話じゃないわ。
ええ、ろくでもない話ばかりですよ。気分一つで人を雇ったりクビにしたり何でもお金で解決しようとする無法者の乱暴者だとか。
違いね
え。でも私はあなたのような頭のいい人は嫌いではない。
だから会ってくれたんですか？
ええ。
I think there's other reasons behind it.
伊藤育九郎0576が私八条東也の別のペンネームだと見破ったのはあなただけ。実に見事なるかな。
伊藤育九郎0576。おかしなハンドルネームだったわ。でも数字に直すと110億1996万576と読める。
Okay, sure. Ooh. I am now reminded of that series of numbers that we saw on the door previously, and the safe number as well. Let's see, that's 11,019,960,576. This massive number is equal to 18 to the 18th power. Ah, okay. 18 to the 8th. In Japanese, Toya no Hashijo. In other words, Hashijo Toya.
よくできました。実に見事。そんなあなただから私も直接会ってみたかったのです。ようこそ人の子よ、我が邸宅へ。
The manner of speaking was extremely condescending, but perhaps because of her elegant matter, it didn't feel particularly irritating. This person had a sort of majestic grandeur about her which made that style of speech seem almost natural. At least, that's how it felt to me. In fact, it felt almost as though this was the manifestation of some noble being, who would have no need to show herself before mere humans under normal circumstances. Since I'm not particularly a fan of hers, I guess this is proof that her mysterious charisma really is nothing to be laughed at. However, I didn't come here to talk to Hashisho Toya, the mystery novelist. I'm interested in Itoi Kukuru Rei Jonamu 576, a mysterious web novel author who only released her works over the internet. Around the Japanese parts of the internet, Itoi Kukuro is an extremely famous witch hunter. However, she isn't a big opinion leader like Professor Utsu. She's one of those message bottle forgers who are always the center of vigorous debate. Message bottle forgers are, as the name suggests, people who forge and post the contents of what purports to be mysterious message bottles detailing the events of the Rokkenjima incident. They claim to have discovered a new message bottle, and post either a very similar counterfeit story or a new theory with their own interpretation of the truth, which are all of which is supposedly written by Ushiromiya Maria. In so doing, they openly take the name Ushiromiya Maria, writing up new bizarre tales as if they'd been present themselves and knew the truth. They then send these stories out into the newest sea discovered by humankind, the internet, claiming that it's a third or fourth message bottle. All of the first forgers were either simple pranksters or crooks trying to swindle collectors. Eventually, though, people who claimed to have solved the riddles of message bottle tales and reached the quote-unquote truth started to appear. And they started creating original works of their own, third and fourth message bottles from Ushumi and Maria, as though they had moved over to the riddle teller's side. Is this maybe referencing people making their own fan fictions of Umineko? Would be my guess. These people rewrote the tale of the witch with whatever interpretations they wanted, and every once in a while, parts of their theories would gain big followings on the net. Some of these creations grew to be so widely trusted that they were believed to contain some grain of truth. The more rigid witch hunters openly despised these people, calling them forgers, counterfeiters, or just witches. Though they claimed to have reached the truth, they refused to tell anyone and created fake message bottles as though testing everyone else. It was no surprise that the more straight-laced witch hunters were seriously annoyed with these forgers, or by these forgers. However, among those who simply like to entertain themselves with the occult fantasy of Rokkenjima, an extremely small number accepted these creations as literary works, glad of these additions to the mysterious tale. Itoi Kukuro was the most highly regarded of these forgers.
End of the Golden Witch. 読ませてもらいました。
That was the last chapter, wasn't it?
人の親族をよくも好き放題に殺せるものです。
それが言いたいためだけにわざわざここへ?
That's the name of the current one. Let's say... No, it just says which of theatre going. I don't know what the name of the individual episodes are.
いいえ、違うでしょう。後ろ宮家の最後の末裔よ。
Okay, End of the Golden Witch was the fifth one. In her latest forgery, End, she killed off 7 members of my family, at least during the actual story. No, count Alliance and Banquet, the other forgeries she's made before now. Alliance was 4th and Banquet was the 3rd, yeah. Then she's killed off most of my family in horrible ways, over and over again. Of course I want to complain. However, all of her works are known for being, in both form and level of perfection, the closest tales to those written by Ushumi and Maria herself. In particular, Itoi Kukuro's first forgery, Banquet of the Golden Witch, managed to fit everything, including Ushumi Ever's escape to Kuadorian. People wondered whether this might be the true story of Rokkenjima, and has even made it onto talk shows. So far, all of these tales have been nothing more than electronic text on the web. However, people will eventually realize that Itoi Kukuro is actually Hashijo Toya. When that happens, they'll become the works of that bizarre Hashijo, and no one will think of them as mere fan creations. People will probably start wondering if this might actually be a third message bottle she found and released under the guise of a story she wrote, as she herself wrote. When that happens, these stories will probably seem even more bizarre and incredible.
狡猾ですね。
どうして？
そうしてあなたは自分の義書に神秘性と信憑性を与える。
信憑性とは？
それを得て、あなたの義書は真実に昇華される。
昇華？愚かしい。そんなもの、私の作品には必要ありません。
なぜなら、あなたの作品は義書ではなく、真実だから。
Oh, but it doesn't matter with the forgeries.
ええ。
Oh, okay.
真実なのですから、昇華など不要。
あなたはマリアお姉ちゃんじゃない。ましてや、あの日の六軒島にも存在しない。 なのにどうして真実などとおこがましいことを。
お嬢、頭に血が上りすぎですぜ。
うるさいわね。私のどこがそうだってのよ。
Andrea half realized that she'd let her emotions get the better of her. She let out a sigh and shrugged.
あなたがここへ来た理由は、親族を義書の中で何度も殺めた私をなじるためではないでしょ。
Ashjo had been smiling at Andrea kindly, but in a condescending manner. Or else, like a mother might watch over a very small child. Andrea realized this and was unable to suppress her irritation. Apparently, Amikusa could tell that Andrea was getting worked up. He joked around with her for a bit so that they could start the conversation over again from the beginning.
あなたが私に聞きたいのは、私の至った真実でしょう。
どうして真実に至ったと確信を。
すべての物語を理解したからです。
だからどうしてそうだと確信を。
There's the thing about there's only one reason why Kensei must be dead?
太陽が地球の周りを回っていたことはあると思いますか？
Ashjo suddenly started talking about Ptolemaic theory. Well, the barycenter of the orbit is within the sun, so no. Andrea was about to tell her not to answer questions with more questions, but she quickly realized what Ashjo meant.
かつて人間は天動説を支持していた。
It's actually quite fascinating. The Greeks were on the right track, but didn't have the instruments to actually measure parallaxes. They were a lot smaller than they were expecting them to be. And so, yeah, they thought that the sun was a lot closer to the Earth, and they also thought the stars would be a lot closer. Actually, I'm not sure if they thought the sun would be closer, but they thought the stars would be a lot closer. And so they thought if the Earth was orbiting the sun, they'd be able to see parallaxes, and when they failed to observe parallaxes, they then concluded that it must be that the Earth is relatively stationary, not orbiting the sun. So they were on the right track, but just weren't able to observe the parallaxes. And so made what they could with the information they had at hand.
しかし近代、それは否定されることとなる。
But nowadays we are able to actually observe those parallaxes. Basically, just in case you're not aware, parallax is if you think of when the Earth goes halfway around the sun, so half a year, it has a difference in where it's currently sitting compared to the sun. And that's a fair distance, and so if you look up at something in the sky, you'd be able to see... Maybe I'll put like a little infographic on the screen, but it's like you can see it on Wikipedia probably. But yeah, the angle which things would appear at would be slightly different. But because stars are so far away, that angular difference isn't that much. Anyway, moving forwards.
なら否定された瞬間に太陽は動きを止め、地球がその周りを回り始めたというのだろうか。
No.
そんなわけもない。人間が何を信じようと真実は変わらない。
ならば今、あなたが私の真実を否定するのは、つまりはそういうこと。
Yeah, but we have reasons to believe that the Earth orbits the Sun rather than the other way around. So surely you have reasons to believe that you've reached the truth, and so you should be able to explain them? The idea of heliocentrism was proposed by several scholars before Galileo. However, It was hard to objectively prove that theory using the scientific techniques available at the time. Even so, that didn't change what the truth was. And yet it moves.
真実はその立証のいかにかかわらず真実だと？
そうです。これより未来、やがて全ての真実が明らかになった時、私がすでに真実に至っていたと遡って人々は気がつくでしょう。
Apparently, Anja just couldn't stand Hachijo's attitude. Kept getting irritated, and every time Amakusa would joke around until she settled down again. However, there could be no mistake that Hachijo was a genius. It had used her extraordinary intuition to form a most interesting outlook on the events that occurred on that island. That was why Anja had wanted to contact Itoi Kukuro and hear her views. Still, this meeting truly had been fortunate for Anja. She hadn't been absolutely sure that Itoi Kukuro was Hachijo Toya. She hadn't thought that the publishing company would really contact the author. And moreover, she hadn't dreamed that the mysterious masked author would grant her an interview under such short notice. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that the sum of the events leading to this meeting made for nothing short of a miracle. Yes, a miracle. After all, in almost all cases, I'd never be contacted by the publishing company and would leave Nijima the next day. I'd leave in Nijima, then go on to Rokkenjima. Then give One-chan a Sakataru stuffed animal. Huh? Why is Sakataru a stuffed animal? My memory of the future is all muddled. My head hurts. Hachijo said something about showing Anje something good, rose from the sofa and headed for the study desk. When she turned her back, Amakusa asked Anje, who seemed to be troubled by something, if she was okay.
ねえ、天草。私っていつからここにいるの？
はあ？さっきから様子がおかしいですぜ。何事ですかい？
Time isn't adding up, or I guess more to the point, time's over adding up.
私、いつからここに座ってるのか記憶がないの。
まだ寝ぼけてんですかい？
そうじゃなくて。だって、私は確か大月教授とはアポイントが取れてたけど、伊藤育九郎の件では出版社から返事がなくて。結局、この日は一日何もできなかったんじゃなかったっけ？
はあ？
天草は、あの大きな黒いバッグを受け取りに行ったんじゃなかったっけ？
That's right. Just before we left for Nijima, Amakusa and I parted ways just one time. Said something about getting a weapon from an acquaintance of his, and he went to go get that large black bag. Wasn't that today? What am I talking about? I mean, didn't I go to Nijima, meet Captain Kawabata, and inside the bed shop? Huh? What?
どうしました？
My confusion and uncertainty make me sigh out loud. Even though Hachijo's back was to me, she slowly turned around and smiled as though she had peered into my heart.
いいえ、何も。
Strange memories, ones that even I can't understand. Tried to hide my confusion. For some reason, Hachijo had a strange glint in her eyes, though she could read my mind.
私は何冊もの記書の中で 何度もあなたのご親族を蘇らせては殺す。まるで魔女のように。
好きなだけ蘇らせて好きなだけ殺す。無限に。まるでベアトリーチェね。
ええ。だから私はやはりネット上で彼らがそう呼ぶように魔女なのかと思って。
Anyway, that's where I'm going to end for today. I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments, and until next time, see ya.